Hi, I'm Cindy Abbott, Letro for Behind the Camera, and today we are going to learn what a line producer does, because we have somebody who spent some 18 years in the business, Alyson Latz, who's with us.
I started when I was 5.
But what is a line producer? But you're in town. Can you tell us what exactly you're doing and what film it will be?
Sure. Is that, so I'm in town in Buffalo doing a project called Crown Vic. But what my job entails, it starts off with, you have your script and you want to get this movie made, or, the director wants to get the movie made. And the producer, and you met, the director and the producer that just went off, they need like a business plan to get money. Because that's big, it's all about money to get these things going. So what I do is I read the script and I will break it down with every prop, location, vehicle, special effect, and it goes into a program basically, and everything is organized. And then I think to myself, okay, with all of these elements, how long would it take to shoot this project? And typically something of this size, when I know basically the parameters I'm working around, so something this size, it's like I feel like it's a 20 to 25 day schedule, so this is a smaller movie.
And in dollars and cents, what would that be?
Am I allowed to talk about that? I don't know. So this project's 3.5. It's a low budget independent film, and it's the tier 1 on the IATSE contract. It's called tier 1. There's different tiers. So the more money you have, then you move up to tier 2, and then ultimately, like when you pass all the tier thresholds, there's 3. You're a majors film. So.
Well, we have been the site of major sort of films when we did the Ninja Turtles movie. That was a major budget.
Absolutely.
And we've had those, but it seems as if this is sort of the sweet spot in Buffalo, this sort of, $3 million film.
Yes.
And why is that?
Because there's a few reasons. This is a place where the dollar will go farther. Also, when you're, let's talk about tax credit as well and the incentive. So New York State does offer a fantastic incentive to filmmakers, to do their work, or TV, to all of production. And in Atlanta, the same. And so basically, right now, New York City, with the tax credit, has probably, I think, like 51 television shows happening, plus movies, plus this. Now, listen, that's grown significantly since when I started, when there was maybe 1 or 2 movies.
And that's because of the tax credit.
That's absolutely 100% because of the tax credit. So, the city is maxed out. Maxed out, like they just, there's not enough people, there's not enough crew just to facilitate these productions. So something of a smaller size, and it's dollars and cents, where our hourly is lower, so we just can't compete. So crewing up something in a city, where I'm competing against a network television show where they're paying $55 an hour or whatever, it's very hard to get someone to come to a project of this size, so.
But
yes,
you do have some names on this one. Laurence Fishburne
was
one that leaped right out at me.
Of course, I'm just talking basically about the crew base. So to come to a city like Buffalo, where it's not, it's not maxed out. It's not. I'm not competing against all these other projects, and where it's just too much. I can actually crew up a movie here, because you're not competing against so many different productions. I'm trying to articulate this the right way.
But this is the first time you've been here, and does that play into why you wanted to come back?
Oh yeah, no, of course.
You were here for the American side,
yes,
okay.
Which was a smaller movie as well, and I'd never been to Buffalo, but I was in New York, and I wanted to get away for the summer, and I really enjoy going to. I've worked all over, and I enjoy going into new areas and setting up a project and meeting new people, and and having new experiences, seeing new locations, and that's part of the reason I got into the business. So with a show like this, a smaller show, coming here, you're getting all of the attention. From the Film Commission and the support, and it's not that Atlanta or New York City, they just don't have the time. because there's so much happening there, right? You know, so it's just too...
So we're still in that sort of building, you know, where we have the luxury of being able to give everyone that comes in that personal touch.
Correct. Although, it's Tim and Rich, go that extra mile, to give, to give productions, that full service, that full service attention, and getting involved and being a part of the project and knowing where we're going and knowing who to call, and just being able to give us that attention. It's like, I just want to, it's like, honestly, like when this project was originally, it was supposed to be in Atlanta, and I was having a tough time like putting it together. And then they discussed moving it to New York, and I knew that would be even more intense, like trying to get people to, to fill positions, just because of the competition. And it's like I had the producers, they were in New York from LA, they came over to my apartment, we're trying to, we're talking about how we're gonna get this off the ground. And I'm like, we just need to Jerry Maguire this. And I texted Tim, and he got back to me immediately. I said, do you have time to talk, hop on the phone for like, to talk to my producers about how we're gonna get this project in Buffalo? He goes, give me 20 minutes. And he called back, I put him on speaker, and that was it. Got off the phone, it was done, and we're off to Buffalo. And I also knew, because of that attention, and also Buffalo in general, like it's just that hospitable attitude. People genuinely want to help you. Really, and it has all the beauty and all the luxuries of a city, but with a very small town feel.
That's great.
No, it's amazing, and it's definitely a different energy. I don't feel like it's dog eat dog. I feel like I'm part of a community, and if I'm looking for something, if whoever I'm asking can't provide it, they know 4 other people to call, and they'll do it. And just out of that generous nature that is here with the people.
I had mentioned when I introduced you that you'd spent a lot of time in this business doing a lot of different jobs. If you were going to advise, you said that, people are excited about the fact that we have this growing film industry. I mean, what advice would you give of areas that we really need to work on, to focus on, to, so that we are ready?
I mean, I actually, I don't think there's any areas to focus on.
I love that.
At all. This is perfection. And, I brought my key personnel, my right hand that came in from Boston. He had never worked in Buffalo before. And like I said, the people that were on the American side, the production designer, the costume designer, the second I said I had a project here, they didn't even hear what the money was. They were like, we're coming, we'll be there. Get us on the phone, send me a script. They didn't even read the script, but they knew what they experienced it. I stayed here at the Hyatt the last time. It's like I remained, connected and kept those relationships up for 4 years, with Tim and Rich. And I was always pitching whatever project I was doing. I was always pitching Buffalo. Let's take it to Buffalo. Let's take it to Buffalo. And it's hard if you haven't stepped foot in the city. You don't know what it is. And it's, when I came here 4 years, and I didn't know what to expect. I was just so hell-bent on getting out of New York City because I was pregnant. I knew it was going to be hot. I knew Buffalo was 20 degrees cooler during the summer. And the timing was really good for me. And then I came, and there was a renaissance going on where it's like all these incredible restaurants. I mean, and there's so much, like the coffee shops and the restaurants and just the growth and the talent and the theater. It just went on and on. I was not expecting that at all. I was so surprised and so overwhelmed. And like, I literally I left that movie thinking like, how am I going to get back to Buffalo? And we always talked about it. We were always scheming. Like I was always scheming with Rich and Tim. And
how long will you be here once this whole production starts?
I'll be here through the end to see all of physical production. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to keep the editing process here as well. I'll be setting up an editing room in Buffalo, and then I do have 2 more projects, hopefully, because anything can happen, the money, anything can happen, but I do have 2 more projects that will, that are, consecutive back-to-back with Buffalo. So I don't know. I could be here hanging out until April 2019.
I love
through
it.
all the seasons, and and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm sure this won't be the last time we'll talk then, because if you're going to be here till then,
Anytime you
we'll
want.
we'll get an update on that. Alyson, thank you for being with us, and thank you
Yes,
for
yes,
falling
yes.
in love with Buffalo.
Oh, I love
we
Buffalo.
love it too.
We love Buffalo.
We'll see you next time on Behind the Camera.
You got it.